You know, that should be pretty good right there. It's sorry, I like took like a nap and then I woke up. Now I'm just groggy and like out of it. You know, like when you just wake up and you're just trying to figure out how to start your day again. And it's actually 6 o'clock. It's not even early. Your boy cut his hair, so that's something new right there. I ended up taking him for my engagement pictures, and no more lechuga anymore is what my co-workers like saying. I finally hit 20,000 miles on this car, and I feel like I wasn't really giving it, I guess you can say, the respect I should have. Because let me start over. When I had my 8th gen, I always talked down so much on the 10th gen. I always said that it wasn't gonna get anywhere, that it was gonna be garbage. I always told myself I was never gonna get one, and I ended up getting one. As a matter of fact, I ended up getting the 2020 model. For those of you clicking on this video and seeing me for the very first time, I've had this car for over a year now, and I noticed that I had it over a year when I checked my emails and Ocean Honda sends me a congratulations 1-year anniversary, and I'm looking at it like, damn, it's already been a year. And I look at the odometer and I hit 20,000 miles on it. But that's only because of where I work. Now I'm in the process of getting a new job. Something that's gonna cut the distance about half the miles. So I'm not gonna be straining this car that much. I've always talked about getting the Type R, I've always talked about looking into getting something else, but at the end of the day, I think I'm actually just gonna stick with this car as long as I can, or as long as I need to, push it to the limit, because that's what this car's been making me want to do. This car's been making me want to push it to its limit, and I know, because for those that know me, I'm not really a power chaser. I would love to have more power under the hood, but I'm pretty content on what's been done to it. I know the video's like starting off randomly, like I get it. It's not your typical video that I like doing. There's gonna be a picture of it right here, that way you guys can see my car since I'm using it as a stand. I have a 2020 Honda Civic Si. It came with the extra goodies from Honda, the Honda Sensing. It came with the better wheels, or I guess you can just say all black wheels. It got a facelift in the front, and like back to the Honda Sensing, it has like lane departure, brake assist, and like a couple other things here and there that make the car better. And I say better than the previous models because that's why the prices of these cars went up. Whenever you see somebody out there saying, I got my 2017 SI for 21 out the door, yeah, you did. Because the pricing was different back in the day. Now, when you try to get this one new, I actually got this one 29 out the door when it was sticker priced at like 31 or something, and then after taxes it would have been closer to like 35, 36. But I ended up getting this one for 29 out the door. It was MSRP at what, 26, 27? But that was only because I added like the maintenance plan, I added something else. And yes, I do have the maintenance plan on this car. It was a no-brainer for me to get these oil changes covered by Honda, considering I drive so far and back. And warranty, warranty is practically gone on this car considering everything that I've done to it. And as of right now, the car is sitting on 20,000 miles on it. It still runs brand new. I have not had a single issue with the motor. I have not had a single issue with the clutch. I have everything else. I haven't had any single issues with the car. So I never understood why or how people would get a lemon from factory, because you can get that from any company, not just Honda on the Civics. But a lot of people were talking down on these L series, and I'm here to tell you that as of right now, the L series will not be as good as the K series, as will not be as good as the B series. And I'm talking about like reliability, holding power wise. You can make good power with this L series car, but to say how long and to put how much money you need to put into it is a totally different story. I'm not saying you can't, you can, but the money to power ratio for these cars is significantly different than the older Hondas. Now, talking about that, these new Hondas do produce a lot of torque, like especially from a Honda. I've driven an S1000, I've driven an 8th gen, I've driven a 9th gen. They were all full bolt-on and tuned. I've driven an EM1, I've driven a Honda Prelude, and they're all high revving cars. But when you're talking about power wise, they have like 130, 140 pounds of torque. With this car, it does not lack in the torque department whatsoever. Right now with the Phereable stage 1.5 tune, it's pushing, I think on map 3 it's pushing like 270 wheel torque, give or take. And also depending on your altitude and everything, a lot of other things happen. But as of right now, I'm sitting on full bolt-ons, I'm sitting on the Phereable stage 1 tune, I'm sitting on Ktuner. I should be around roughly 230 horsepower and like 270 foot-pounds of torque, according to Phereable. Talking about the torque, that's why these clutches don't hold out as much as older Hondas, because it doesn't go by horsepower, it goes by torque. Pretty much why when somebody goes E85 and they start slipping on the clutch and they start wondering why these clutches are trash. Now don't get me wrong, a stock clutch on this car is totally different than a stock clutch on an 8th gen. I feel like the 8th gen was more driver oriented. This one feels a little too lifeless, if that makes sense. And before I keep going, there's plenty of other people out there that are on E85, that are all full bolt-on, and that are also big turbo with a stock clutch and still going strong. But there is a lot more, twice more, maybe 3 times as more people burning their clutches at like 10,000 miles. How? I don't know. I really don't know. I feel like once 2020 hit, I feel like Honda did do something a little different with the transmission and the clutches, because as far as I know, this car has been pretty good to me. And keep in mind, I do baby it. I don't wide open throttle under 3,000 RPMs. I don't give it excessive load on 5th and 6th gear. Like, I let the car warm up decently. Not all the way, but I'm treating it right. That way it treats me right, you know? That goes for any car out there. As of right now, I have no complaints with this car. The next thing that I'm doing with this car is probably going to be the clutch, because I thought about it long and hard, and I do owe an apology to a lot of you guys out there when I said I was going to supercharge my 8th gen or turbo it, and I didn't. But that's because at that point in life, it wasn't meeting my day-to-day criteria. And yes, I probably could have bought another daily and driven that to work and back, but for how long was that going to last me? Because I did not want to get a new car if it wasn't going to make it worth for me. Does that make sense? So let's say if I did supercharge my 8th gen, that's going to be the one that I was looking at is the Merc Racing Supercharger. You're looking at like 6 grand just in parts. That doesn't include labor. What if I wasn't able to do it? What if I broke something else? Then I need to get a tune. That's about another $500 to $600 right there, depending on where I go. The car was basically ready to go, but I decided to stop everything, go a different route, and try a new platform. And that's why I opted for the 2020 Civic Si. Now, going back to that, I have made the decision of keeping this car as long as I need to, because I want to go big turbo on it. I want to possibly even look into rebuilding the engine. I want to possibly look into going to PPG gears in this car. And if I have any questions with it, I'm gonna reach out to you guys. I'll probably reach out to a couple of mechanics that are around here in Ventura County. They have more knowledge with this platform than anybody else that I know in person. I've always talked about looking into getting the GR86 Type R. I've always looked into getting the 11th gen, and this was like, what, 2-3 videos ago, and I've talked about it every now and then, but I think ultimately I'm gonna keep this car. I'm gonna see what I can do with it, and I'm gonna see where this car takes me. So far, I've met amazing people because of this platform. It doesn't mean I'm not gonna do anything else to it. I'm still gonna do your basic needs and essentials to make it, to keep the content coming and growing. So hopefully I can reach out to a little bit more of you guys and a lot of the subscribers that are onto this channel. Hope you guys start watching the channel again. That way you guys can start seeing what I'm trying to do with it. But I am going to be getting another 8th gen. And if it's not another 8th gen, I might be looking into getting the Rv6 Type S. I don't know. But it's going to be one of those 2 cars. Those 2 cars right now have been on my list. If you look at my search history, I've been looking back and forth for one of those cars. And I mean more for the 8th gen, that way I can get into an FA5 since I'm really familiar with the platform. But I would be satisfied with a Type S because, now I'm being completely honest, I would prefer a Type S RSX over an 8th gen coupe any day because of the aesthetics, because of the looks, because of everything else. And I know the 8th gen has an LSD and like it's newer and blah blah blah, but right now it's just a horrible time to buy an 8th gen or a 9th gen or even a 10th gen right now, because everybody's selling them. It's the wrong time to buy a used car because everybody's selling them for excessively high. You know, if I end up finding the car that I think is right for me, then I'm gonna do it. It's gonna happen. I've looked into it, and I'm gonna keep my 10th gen, and I'm gonna look into picking up another K20. That way I can get back on that and do you guys the favor of boosting it like I promised. With this 10th gen, it's been a blast. Say you should buy one, I think you should. If you're skeptical, and I'm hoping when you guys see this video, you are looking into it like a make it or break it deal. Look, if you are not power hungry and you just want something to have fun in, something that's actually a turbo and you get good gas, a 10th gen is not a bad choice. You can go from the hatch, you can go to a sedan, you have the SI, you have a Type R, you have a base model, which have so many different choices in the 10th gen brand. So I opt for the coupe because I am a coupe guy. I love coupes. I like how they look. I personally think they look better than the sedan, but you do have other options. Now, to say that you're going to be able to find an SI at a low price, probably not, unless it's a salvage title. And even if it is a salvage title, that's ultimately up to you if you want to decide to get that or not, because everybody knows salvage titles, if it's not a clean title, insurance might not cover it all the way, or they might charge you more for it, or the resale value would be low if something happens to it. So it sucks. But if you're looking for something to get you from point A to point B, if you're looking for something to have fun in, if you want something that has decent amount of torque, something that has a turbo, something that has your modern basic functions in a vehicle, the 10th gen is a really good car for you to get, and I don't regret getting it because I've met a lot of new different people with this platform, and I'm still learning with what I'm going to be doing with this car. So 20,000 miles in, and I feel like I can get another 100,000 miles if I really needed to, the way it sits. Like I said, I have not had any issues with this car. As of right now, I am full bolt-on. I have the PRL 271 intercooler, the Rv6 Catted Downpipe, Rv6 Frontpipe, full race catback exhaust. It is all 3-inch from the turbo all the way back to the muffler. I also do have the 271 colder intake. I do have the street version. I did not opt for the race version because one, I did not need it, and two, I did not have Ktuner until after I got intake. So the nice thing about it, if I do want to switch over to the race version, I can just I'll reach out to them and rebuy a new tune if I need to, but I don't think I need to until I get the turbo inlet piping. I feel like it's just a waste of money on that point. Now, before I even start asking for more power on this car, the 8th gen is going to be here, or the RS-X Type S, whichever one I decide to pull the trigger on. I've talked about doing car meets, I've talked about doing cruises. I am going to be going to a car meet this Sunday. If you guys are interested, follow me on Instagram, that way you guys can check it out. It is not my car meet, it is actually Stock SI's and Drewski's car meet, that car cruise that they've been doing on a monthly basis. I just happen to get the Sunday off so I can check it out with them. So if you guys want to join us, we're going to be meeting in Thousand Oaks. Here's a flyer of it right here. Here's their Instagrams if you guys want to check them out and you guys can get more information on it. This is for Southern California as well. After that, I'm going to be going to the Super Honda meet in Irwindale Speedway. So hopefully I get to see some of you guys there. I am going to be rolling out with a couple of friends from here, and I'm going to be meeting some people at the cruise. So we'll go ahead and see how that goes. If I see that this one does do a good turnout, I'm gonna start hosting one. So before I put my effort into it, I'm gonna be tagging along with these guys to see how it is, see how they do it, because I've never hosted one before. We're gonna go from there. So once I get my feet wet, then we'll go ahead and start doing that. That way I can get to meet you guys a little bit better. I'll finish the video right now, but like off topic, I've never seen a trucker hitch a trailer back on to the back of the truck. And I look like a kid seeing somebody do magic. He just dropped off his truck. Oh. I wonder if there's like a camera back there that tells him how to do it, or he's just that good. This foot just nailed it on the first try. I'm sure you guys heard that clunk. I'm sure you guys can hear his engine from this microphone. This microphone is very, very strong. See, now it turned off. This microphone is very, very sensitive and strong. Still looking into doing car reviews. You guys love those. I'm still looking into doing car features. I'm still looking into doing my 10th gen Civic Si versus so-and-so. So it's a lot of them is gonna keep coming. So I'm actually considering doing a rematch with Victor because now that I have the intercooler, I feel like I wouldn't be getting as much heat soak racing his supercharged FRS, just so I can get some redemption right there, you know. So I feel like on map 3 this car would definitely pull pretty hard next to it, considering I was on map 2 when I raced him and he had so much more top end power than I did. So if you guys are in Southern California and you guys do want to link up and do want to collaborate on videos, no, majority of you guys live in like Central California or like inland or like freaking Riverside. Like, bro, I am down, but we just got to make sure that I have some time off, that way I can drive over there and check it out. So I'm gonna be reaching out to some of you guys back in my DMs, since next week I'm taking like a little vacation and I have up to like 4 days off. So we're gonna check it out and see what I can do with that, and see if I can reach out to some of you guys, because I know there's a couple of you guys back in Riverside that want to link up. I'm totally down. But anyways guys, it's 20,000 miles into this car. It's treated me great. If you guys are looking into getting a 10th gen, there's no reason why not to. It's such an amazing car and you get so much for your money. And honestly, it's just about opinions. If you just don't like them, then you don't like them. It is what it is. But it's still a Civic, it's still a Honda. You're still gonna get the basic aftermarket support with this car. You're still gonna have a huge, as a matter of fact, I've never seen an aftermarket so high. Last time I saw the aftermarket jump on a vehicle was the 8.6, and back in what, 2013, 2014, when it first came out. When this one came out, 271 made a name for itself. PRL got even bigger because they started doing more stuff for the 10th gen, especially for the Type Rs. A different company started coming out of nowhere and started making downpipes and intakes and Mishimoto, and like they have intercoolers and exhaust. Like, you have such a huge variety for aftermarket parts for this car. So there is no right or wrong on what you do to it. All I say is take care of the car, don't wide open throttle under 3,000 RPMs, make sure you change the oil daily on a regular basis, and you'll be fine. This video is definitely not as informative as my other ones were, but this video is mainly to hear my experience and what I've done with the car. If you don't want the Honda sensing with this car and you're looking into getting a 10th gen Civic, get a 2019. At least with that, you still get the radio knob. That was one of the biggest interior upgrades that they gave to this damn vehicle, is they don't have a radio knob on the previous ones. So if you're looking into getting it, 2019 is not a bad choice. But if you do want the nice features from the 2020, then it's up to you if you're going to be paying a hefty price. But if you're going to be getting it used, I would probably wait until the 11th gen comes out, at least for the SI. That way the prices drop a little bit right now, because I've seen this car with 20,000 miles still being on sale for like 28, 29,000. That's basically what I paid for it new. So that's up to you guys. Anyways guys, I hope you guys find this video entertaining, if nothing else. That way you guys can understand where I'm at and what I'm going to be doing. So hopefully I get to see you guys on Sunday, and I'm going to be making videos out of that. So I'll see you guys in another video. You guys have a good day. Peace.